Bulgaria, a world leader in youth participation in decision-making at the highest level of the UN. Sounds like a dream or a paradox, right? I hope that after watching this movie or going through our digital book devoted to the 5th anniversary of the UN Youth Delegate Program of Bulgaria, you'll start to believe in this dream. Let's pause for a moment together and try to enumerate which are these initiatives that Bulgaria is world famous for. My list includes, and perhaps yours, Jonathan Asuf and the innovation of the personal computer. Why not the unique bacteria of the Bulgarian yogurt, or the folklore song and the voice of Valja Balkanska in the outer space? Hristo Stoichkov and the soccer golden ball are among those initiatives. I hope that after you get to know our values and achievements of the Youth Delegate Program in Bulgaria, you will get to join our cause of supporting youth in our efforts to participate in decision-making on national, regional and international and local levels. And what is a youth delegate? Especially in the bureaucratic system of the UN, youth delegate is a very unique position because there is no exhaustive recipe or concrete formula. Best practices across the world show that the youth delegate is a young person selected through a national selection democratic procedure who has rights similar to a real diplomat, is included in the national delegation of his country and works concretely on the text of the UN Youth Resolution. Back at their home countries, the youth delegates usually meet and work closely with a lot of youth, governmental, non-governmental and business organizations. Unfortunately, only 30 countries from 193 UN member states have ever had a youth delegate. Around 11 countries have sent youth delegates from the European Union, and overall the map of the youth delegates' representation across the world is severely geographically underrepresented. It's our hope that soon youth delegates will come from all continents and all countries, or at least regional geographic groupings. It's my utter pleasure to share with you that Bulgaria has the luxury of having a youth delegate ever since 2007 and has sent each year a youth delegate to the relevant UN committees of the General Assembly. The mission of the Bulgarian Youth Delegate Program is to be a bridge of communication on several levels between young people in Bulgaria and young people across the world, between young people in Bulgaria and national policy makers, and last but not least, between Bulgarian youth and the UN. The two-way constant cooperation and open dialogue between the UN and youth and the UN is very important. In order for the UN resolutions not to be locked in the cupboard in New York City and to be forgotten, it's exactly the role of the youth delegate to translate these policy documents in understandable, youth-friendly way to society in order for all of us to understand how we can implement and follow these UN recommendations on the ground in Bulgaria. Secondly, it's very important for us youth to participate in such programs as the Youth Delegate Program in order to prove that we are able and deserve the place to be an equal partner in decision-making for national and international youth policies and not as a passive target group of such. We should be also the active conscience of civil society by asking directly our national policy makers of what's the progress of implementing UN agenda on the ground, because by signing a UN youth resolution, Bulgaria is committing itself to fulfilling those UN strategies. The values of the program are proactivity, continuity and sustainability. As there are no ex-presidents, likewise, there are no ex-youth delegates. I'm very proud to share with you that a lot of the youth delegates continue to work for the Youth Delegate Program through the years. I can share from my personal experience that ever since 2006, I've been working in this program in different positions. as one of the first lobbyists for the whole program, the first official youth delegate, different national coordinator position to the current one of being a national advisor and representative of this program in the UN board of the association in Bulgaria. Our goal in the long term is for the whole society, both in the non-governmental, governmental and business sectors, to come to the conclusion that youth is the solution, not the problem. It's not by chance that this is actually our motto. How did we end up here? Only a few years ago, the mere idea of a young person, be it 18, 25 or 29, to speak seriously about the most serious problems in front of the most serious diplomats in the world sounded like a paradox. Thanks to the work of the UN Association volunteers and the vote of confidence from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bulgaria, this has become a reality. The youth delegate is a position which currently one or two people can occupy for any given mandate. But here is the special place to thank all the youth delegate team members who have made the mandate possible. Thank you. With the work of all these stakeholders, I'm proud that the Kennedy's idea of what we young people can do for our country and not what our country can do for us has already become a reality. What are the future initiatives and strategic programs of the Youth Delegate program in Bulgaria? There are 6 and quite interesting, I might say. First, digital innovative campaign for dialogue via the social media and social networks between youth and policymakers. The initiative started with a special Facebook page in which you and young people asked their own questions to the candidates for presidency of Bulgaria back in October in 2011. Currently, the program will continue with a new wave of asking questions towards the newly elected president of Bulgaria and all ex-presidents of the Republic. Secondly, we introduced the UN Goodwill Ambassadors program. What is this? This is basically attraction of young stars, of young people in Bulgaria who have reached a peak in their career, who serve as positive role models for us young people to stay in Bulgaria and work here. With great pleasure, I can share with you that Desi Dobrova has become our first ambassador of goodwill since 2010, and we are currently negotiating with other stars, and we are soon to announce who will be the next UN Youth Goodwill Ambassadors. On a third place, very important, we would like to strengthen our participation in policy making and law amendments in Bulgaria. In close cooperation with the newly created National Youth Forum, we are currently making amendments to the first long-awaited for years youth law in Bulgaria. And we hope that this close cooperation with youth organizations, in particular the National Youth Forum, is going to continue and is going to make us more effective in strengthening our and lobbying and advocating our interests as young people. On the fourth place, we would like to incorporate art and youth more concretely in Bulgaria. We are popularizing UN strategies and UN problems via organizing different art contests for pictures, photos, paintings and essays. And we would like to have this as an annual tradition each year. Furthermore, we would like to strengthen our international cooperation. As you've already known, we've organized together with Germany the first pilot training of how to set up a youth delegate program and how to develop it through the years. We, as Bulgarian Youth Delegate Program, are very willing to share our experience and best practices with countries who would like to establish such programs. Last but not least, For us, it's important to foster different forms of youth participation. We very much believe that the Youth Delegate program as a position and philosophy is fit for other UN committees, for EU institutions, and why not on national and regional, ministerial and governmental level in Bulgaria.